Hi, this is Dan Sullivan. I'd like to welcome you to the Multiplier Mindset Podcast. Hi, this is the Game Changer transformation that I'd like to focus on right now, and it's Marybeth Lynch, who's got a biotech company in Boston, which is a hotbed of biotech engineering. You know, as much being done there as in Silicon Valley. Marybeth, when she first started her company, had a big worry that she couldn't attract great people until she was a big company. And this is a frequent misunderstanding among entrepreneurs, that somehow people are attracted to the size of your company. And actually, the truth of it, and you can really see it from Marybeth's story, is what they're attracted to is your vision about where your company is going. They're actually attracted to the excitement and the passion and the commitment that you have to your company. And the greatest people actually want to get started with things right at the beginning. It's the people who aren't great who want to join a big company. Okay, so actually getting there at the start actually attracts the greatest talent. And what they're buying into is not so much your company, they're actually buying into you as the entrepreneur. So I just like to get that across when you're a small company and you're involved in something that's really going to grow, that you have to be totally confident and clear about your vision, and that's what really draws them. So a lot of entrepreneurs say, where do I find great people? And I said, well, are you the sort of person that great people are looking for? And the thing that they're most attracted to is your clarity and passion and vision about your own company and how it's going to grow in the future.
So my name is Marybeth Lynch. I'm the CEO of a management consulting firm called Accelerate Biopharma Consulting. We're based out of Boston, which is kind of like the Silicon Valley for biotechs these days. We provide business consulting services to research and development executives such that they can further their science in a way that aligns with capitalizing on commercial opportunities and also addressing manufacturing issues and also having a good regulatory strategy in place so that their science gets approved by the regulatory bodies around the world. I've been in strategic coach for a year. I've been in this industry, the biotech industry, pharmaceutical industry, for my whole career. But I've been a business owner. This is the start of year 4. And particularly the biotechnology, it's just innovating so fast. And there's so much science that's being tried. And it doesn't always go as far as it needs to, but people could think that's just because the science fails. But oftentimes there could be breakdowns in teamwork and breakdowns in the thinkings there, but maybe it wasn't all heard. You know, I had the thinking that when it came to hiring people to work for me, there's a couple pieces to that. One was my own psychology of, you know, am I good enough to have great people work for me kind of thing. And so then there's also the piece about paying other people and, okay, you may not have all the contracts that you want in terms of revenue at the moment, but yet you're making choices about hiring people and, you know, bringing up your expense amount. So there's kind of different spaces to move through there. I think for me, I thought when it came to who I would hire and the kind of talent I would have access to, that there was people in my life that I thought, oh gosh, I would just love for them to work for me one day. And I thought I had to build some massive company and be the top of this and that. And you know, I didn't think I could be in a startup phase. But it's really amazing because when you're not just passionate, but clear about not only what the company is up to, but the kind of people you're looking for and that sort of stuff. I was just amazed at the talent that I was able to, and within my own network, the talent that I was able to have access to, and it's on my team now. And the learning that then, you know, moving from being a rugged individual where I would do everything myself, and it takes a lot of energy to do that because I'd spend most of my time doing things I'm not great at. The things that I'm good at, you get those done quickly, but then you have to do all this other stuff and it just weighs on you. But you bring in these team members that again happen to be, highly talented, and I was really blown away that they wanted to come work for me, and they enjoy some of the things I hated. I thought everybody hates what I hate. Like, who likes doing that? Nobody likes doing that. But there's people that really like that and can't believe I enjoy what I enjoy. But we just play to what it is everyone's best at. It's just amazing. They get bigger and better results faster than I would have, when I'm left to do that task or activity or role. So there was a lot there, but it does feel like a leap hiring people, but to go for it because there's just so much more learning that's going to happen after that in terms of, did you bring on the right people, and how are you as a leader in getting them organized and setting them up for success? And so I recommend going for it. I think in letting people know that you enjoy working with or being around, that you are hiring. So it's almost like I tell people that have the kind of mindset I have and the kind of mindset I'm looking for, I tell those kinds of people that I'm looking for someone, because chances are who they refer, who they recommend, they know you and they know them and they think that it could be a good match. But definitely mindset. I think Dan has something about, what is it? Hire for attitude, train for skill, and fire for example. And I very much followed that, because if somebody's attitude is one of, they're willing to roll up their sleeves, they're willing to try things they don't know, they're willing to really partner, with you, it just makes an enormous difference versus someone that could be really great at something, but quite frankly, if they're a pain in the neck to work with, like you're dreading talking to them and you're dreading, and it just takes a lot of energy. So I'd say that too to new entrepreneurs is I've just found that entrepreneurship's very much energy management versus time management. So the more you're doing the things that give you energy, which tend to be the things you're really good at, it's the same thing for your team as well. And it's just amazing what you can get done when people are really fired up about what it is that they're doing, right? Whether they're calling in sick less or less breaks or less whatever, they're just really fired up that they have a chance to contribute in that way. And you're fired up that you have people contributing in that way, because you're going to contribute in the way you know how, which together makes a great company. So with Strategic Coach as a business owner serving these types of clients who are these brilliant, scientists and doctors with this exciting science, Strategic Coach challenges me to think about my thinking. Dan Sullivan is just excellent at doing that in our workshops. So as a result, in changing your thinking, it changes what I then think my next things are to do or to not do. So if you think about whether it's your goals for the year or it's your to-do list for the day, it's all now different because I've changed my thinking. So it's incredibly exciting to be a part of Strategic Coach at this time, given all that's possible in my industry and as a result of my business. Dan teaches about having your future be bigger than your past. I'm 41, and so I like to think my future's going to be, bigger than my past, but that's very different than actually declaring that, creating that. Dan also has us think in 25-year increments. So as a somewhat newer entrepreneur, I was very caught up in, okay, I need to cause these results and do it very, very quickly. But with a 25-year framework, which is 100 quarters, he sets you up to make 5 jumps a quarter. And even on your daily schedule, do 3 things a day that move your business forward. So anyway, all of that makes that bigger future that I've now designed possible as I see myself progressing towards it, while being able to enjoy the rest of my life as well, not just working all the time. Year 1 of Strategic Coach, for me, the 4 workshops, incredibly exciting. Just so grateful to be a part of it. Like, I didn't know this thinking existed, this company existed, this coaching and resources existed. So I was like, okay, I'm in the right place, because as a new entrepreneur, there's all these mistakes people typically make. And okay, I've got a great coaching structure here so that I can avoid those mistakes, or at least many of them, and at the same time accelerate towards, the direction I want to go and in the progress and results I want to have. So that was great. There's also a tremendous amount of excitement. So when you're in this room, I remember reading about Coach, and it said something like sometimes people feel like they've found their tribe. And I was like, really? But then I got in the room and I know exactly what they're talking about. And it was like, oh, wow, other people are just as ambitious. They've chosen this entrepreneurial path and being a business owner and all of that. And so there's not many of us, I find, that are business owners and have the kind of ambitions that we have, but to all be in the room together and thinking and learning together. And also, it's incredibly generous room on the breaks or in the discussion in the room. I mean, people are just constantly sharing and offering their learnings, their experiences. It's not this, oh, what have you done for me lately? And maybe I'll help you out. I mean, it's just this room of real generosity and genius of what folks have done and their sharing of it. Now going into year 2, I just did my first workshop today, and I noticed that there's a experience of being more settled and more confident in being a business owner, and that I was perhaps even more frazzled last year than I realized. And what I thought was excitement, but it was also a bit frazzled trying to, think I needed to do all these things by the next quarter. And instead here in year 2, there's just a real settling, but I mean that in a very positive way, just a real calmness and a confidence that I'm in the right place. This is the latest learning and it's going to propel me towards where I need to be, and that I'm a part of this community and helping each other to achieve what it is we want to achieve. One thing just on being here today, when I was in my hotel room this morning getting ready, and it's like, okay, I'm going to go start year 2 of the 10X program, I realized there's no other place on the planet I'd want to be today. I've got plenty of family and friends and things I love to do and all of that. It's just such an honor and privilege to be here. And it's just such high value that just really grateful to be a part of it. And then in terms of my personal life, so I'm one of these, I think I'm being efficient by, let me just get one more thing in here and one more thing in there. And the time management system that Strategic Coach teaches you is one of the concepts are about free days, where for the entire day you don't do anything business related, you don't read an article, you don't check an email. And that was just shocking to me. I was like, how would you ever do that? And you can't. People aren't going to accept that. It's just, I was like so resisted, like maybe in other companies they can do it, but I can't do that. But in going ahead and taking the coaching and taking the free days, I've realized that in my personal life, I'm much more present, because as opposed to thinking like I could go see my nephew's soccer games, and if there's a little break in between games, I could be on my phone checking email, and but it's all very justified because it's work related and all that. And it's just like, hold on a second, like what if it was just present and you just have those moments with your family and those conversations that weren't going to happen otherwise. And so I've just noticed that kind of the spontaneity that can happen with the people you care about the most when you're present has just had a real huge difference. I think for people that are entrepreneurs, whether you've been an entrepreneur for 30 years or you've been an entrepreneur for a year, but if you have these big ambitions and you do want to really grow your company and you just don't want to suffer doing it, you want to have fun and really enjoy it, and there's a reason or reasons that you chose to be an entrepreneur, Strategic Coach is just this phenomenal place to gain new thinking, a new community, and it really bucks an awful lot of the traditional narratives in the culture about entrepreneurship, and you don't even realize we live in them and act on them until someone else challenges them. And they very much get challenged here, and you just see this way to be a successful entrepreneur in this world while also having a phenomenal life as well. So you kind of have to experience it to believe it, perhaps, but that's very much been my experience. And you also talk an awful lot about these workshops, which are phenomenal, and you get support from one workshop to the other as well. One of my concerns was that I was going to feel alone or, just out there on my own in between these workshops and get all fired up from the workshop, but if left to my own devices, perhaps I wouldn't implement everything. But you get assigned a program advisor and some other staffs available to you that support you in implementing what it is that you've learned in the workshop so that you can make the kind of progress you want to make quarter to quarter.
This is our 30th year of Coach, and we've just completed interviews with almost 35 entrepreneurs who've been in coach for more than 25 years. Hands down, every one of them says, I got all the success and achievement I was looking for, but the biggest thing is that I got a community who totally understands me, who totally understands both my successes and my obstacles. Everywhere else, I feel a little bit like I'm a freak. But when I'm in a workshop where everybody else is a freak, everybody feels normal. And I think that's really what Marybeth is talking about. I certainly feel that way. And that's why I've created a business where I'm just always surrounded, workshop by workshop, with very talented, very ambitious, very successful entrepreneurs. But they're kind of lonely, and this is the first time in their life where they feel totally supported and totally surrounded by people who are very, very supportive and very enthusiastic about each quarter's progress. So if you would like to get a really fast but in-depth understanding of the community that Marybeth Lynch is in and what really happens in Strategic Coach and the kind of people are there, then just go to whonothow.coach.